Welcome to another episode of Icon Presents. Joining me today from Los Angeles, California, here to talk about their newest single, Sell Out. Ladies and gentlemen, Icon Presents Alibis.
Fear is an illusion devised that keeps us questioning our life. Just let me escape to a realm that's more kind, but they plan to keep me here for life. Another rule to keep me in line, but you're all sellouts. You sell us out no matter the cost. Centuries of lives we've lost, but we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight. You sell us out no matter the cost. Centuries of lives we've lost, but we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight. In a wheel like a cage, we race against time, while the crooked take one more piece of the pie. We're all starving here for something you can't find, but we plan to take it all in stride. But you're all sellouts. You sell us out no matter the cost. Centuries of lives we've lost, but we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight. You sell us out no matter the cost. Centuries of lives we've lost, but we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight. With one eye open and one that's bound to the floor. A strange new place that wanted to open the But you're all sellouts. You sell us out no matter the cost. Centuries of lives we've lost, but we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight. You sell us out no matter the cost. Centuries of lives we've lost, but we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight. So don't just give up the good fight. But we're waking up, so don't just give up the good fight.
Welcome, Alibis. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
guys for
having
joining me,
us.
man. So tell me, what can you tell me about this song, Sellout?
Well, the song itself is a lot about sometimes being influenced by like media and a negative aspect, and
Okay.
just kind of really just being honest and true to yourself. I feel like, with so much of the digital age now, it's important to also, remember who you are as a person and not always try to be maybe not always easily influenced in a negative connotation anyway,
Right.
So it's about that. We had a lot of fun with the video itself is actually a play from the movie. Do you remember They Live?
They Live.
It's like an 80s movie.
It's like an old
Yeah.
80s movie that had
Yeah.
Roddy Piper in it.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Yeah.
you. I don't believe I've ever seen that.
It's
Yeah.
crazy because when he pulls down the glasses, he can see that everyone on the TV is aliens.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's very 80s. So it's the video itself is not 80s, but the movie was.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun filming it with that kind of concept for the
Mhm.
video to make it fun and still really cool and still somewhat about what it is.
Yeah.
So I think the video is going to be really badass, and I think people are really going to like it a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. First, let's go rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
I have Rainey.
Yeah.
And Chris.
Yes.
Got you. So Chris, you play guitar,
I do.
and Rainey, you're the lead singer.
I am.
for
Yeah.
Alibis. Now, you have a couple members, obviously, not here.
Yeah.
Who are those guys?
That
Go
would
ahead.
be Cameron. He plays the drums,
Okay.
powerhouse on the drums, very talented.
Mhm.
And we have our bass player, Sebastian, also very talented.
Yes.
He just rejoined the band with us from Australia.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. And how did you guys get your start?
Well, we got our start. Initially, I was looking for a guitar player. I wanted to start writing music that was more rock based. I had a solo project prior that I was sort of really building for this moment.
Mhm.
And so it came time for me to look for a guitar player, and I found Chris. I thought he was amazing. I had some other people, but he was the best. He wrote really well to what I had, and we just really hit it off, and it was a good fit. So we took about 6 months writing
Mhm,
before we built the band and really started getting all of our songs together. And then we started seeking band members, and then we found Cameron, and then we
Mhm.
found Sebastian. And really just, it's been pedal to the metal ever since then.
Nice.
There's been no breaks,
No
no
breaks.
sleep, no breaks, no
Constantly
nothing,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys have a new project, Sellout.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about your past works? I know you have the interesting one. The one that kind of stuck out to me was Dark Side.
Yeah.
Now, I
Everyone loves that song.
I like both versions of that song.
Ah,
You had
cool.
the I was like, yo, this thing is a banger, like for real. And
Thank you.
and your vocals on that are amazing.
Thank
and
you.
guys, the instrumentation, it's a whole work of art, and I love it.
Thank
So tell
you.
me about your inspiration on that song itself, the first version of it, the original version.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
heavier version.
The
Yeah, the heavier version, exactly.
Okay, so I initially, it really came about like self-sabotage was a lot of, what the content for me was about.
Mhm.
Sometimes I hate telling people actually like what it's about because then I feel like they don't take it in as how, you would want to interpret it for yourself.
Okay.
But I will tell you.
All right.
It's a lot about self-sabotage and doing things against like what you really want, and that's
Okay.
that dark side aspect of yourself, I think we all have a light side and a dark side to us,
Got
and
you.
so
So
I
we're
think-
talking Star Wars now.
yeah. Well, actually, he's a big fan of Star Wars.
Yes.
I know that. Yeah.
Old Star Wars, not
Old
this stuff.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
Not the new stuff.
No.
None of that Disney crap.
Yeah, exactly. They got the worst show out there right now, The Acolyte. My
Oh my
God.
God! Actually, he was
Gosh.
just talking about
we're,
that
we're
with
talking
another
about
friend.
it with another friend of ours. I was like, this is just so awful.
Dude, I'm so done. For me, it was Obi-Wan. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish, but
Yeah.
For
No,
me-
Actually,
yeah.
let's just talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, but for me, it was Obi-Wan. I gave it another shot.
Mm.
I had already kind of, for the lack of a better word, swore off Star Wars. I was
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
done with this new stuff. I'm good. And then somebody convinced me. They were like, dude, Obi-Wan's not that bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's sad that the caliber is that bad.
That bad,
It's
yeah.
like, it's not that bad. So I watched
Mhm.
it. I hated the character Reva in that show. Her acting was horrible, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I was like, my gosh, man, she is just lame. And it was funny because even when Ahsoka came out, me and my wife were watching that show, and my wife turns to me one day. They were like 4 episodes in, and I've already given up. I just didn't start ragging on the show for her sake. And she was like, I don't think this show is good. And I was like, it's not.
It's terrible.
It's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the best thing about with Obi-Wan is just to see the interaction between Anakin
and Obi-Wan. Yeah, the fan
again,
service of doing that,
Like,
even though it did break canon. But
yeah, of course. But like even when the helmet was cracked open and they had that that real like tearful moment, like he was like, oh, I'm not, of all that. I was just like, oh man, like this whole thing is like not that good, but still that right there.
Yes, exactly. Like, you take bits and pieces and you're like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. It's the same thing you do with so many other projects that come out there.
Yeah.
But it real quick, the reason why I always point to those type of things that fail out there in the larger entertainment industry, and kind of like, because Icon Presents, we focus a lot on, independence and having how they build up their skills and their they're becoming more known and kind of getting out there, and that's kind of what this platform is for. And I've had the opportunity to talk with various people from various industries, so whether it be from music, literature, and film, and different things like that, whether it be authors of nonfiction or fiction. I've had comic book artists on here. I have all kinds of people on the show.
Yeah.
And staying true and authentic and making sure that the product that goes out resonates with you.
Sure.
And then also touches your audience is a very key factor to it.
Right.
And you guys have managed to put out, like I said, I have my office is right on the other side of this wall. And like, I was like, hey guys, guess who we're having in the studio this coming up Friday? They're like, Alibis, right? And I was like, yeah, have you ever heard them? They're like, no. Cool. So I turned up my speakers. I got the JBL speakers, and they're just turn it up. And we put on Dark Side. Next thing I know, I look behind me, and the entire office is in my office. And they're sitting there like, oh, dang, they're pretty good. It's like, yes. So I'm like, cool. You got fans out of all of us, right?
Oh,
right
thank you.
away.
That's great.
Then I was
Very
like,
nice.
cool.
Thank you.
But it's easy to tell, like, when your lyrics and everything resonate with you.
Right.
When they come from a place of,
Honesty.
honesty,
Yes.
exactly, and being authentic. Tell me about your writing process.
Well, really quickly, I want to add to that if that's cool. I think for me also, the most important thing is authenticity. And that I totally agree with what you're saying, because I see a lot of other artists where they try and do what's popular as opposed to what really is like within them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the major thing that connects people is emotion and honesty. So when things don't have a sense of realness,
Exactly.
I don't feel like it actually connects to people.
And that's where you see people flop.
Right. Totally.
This
100%.
This is why I don't mind going off on tangent about the way Star Wars has flopped, because
that makes
there is
sense.
a world where this stuff resonated with people.
Right.
But the way these stories are told now, they don't come from that same place.
Right.
And it's sad.
No, totally. I mean, and that's what we really aim to do. That's another reason why we really want to, really build up our band and really get things to a level that, we don't want anything of that factor taken away from us, because I think that, again, that emotional aspect is super key to great music.
Right.
And with the writing process, we, it usually goes like this. I have to be alone.
Okay.
No one can be there and they can't hear me. That's the first thing.
Gotcha.
I usually will sit down for days and figure out chord progressions on the piano and vocal, like my melodies first and foremost, because it's for me, as lame as, not lame, but it's a very like, I have to be super honest with myself when I'm writing, which is painful in a lot of ways, because it's not easy for me to dig into myself and be like, hey, and bare myself in front of people. And so that aspect, that's why I have to be alone, because I don't want people to like, I don't want to feel like not judged, but I need to feel safe with what I'm about to do, you know? And so that happens first. And then once I get a general concept of what I think, I'm going to do in the chord progression aspect, Chris comes in, he'll usually, I usually try to make him do drums because I hate programming drums, but I will program drums.
I got you.
No, we'll switch off. But Chris will do either drums and then he'll do guitars and we'll switch off. He does great melodies for all the guitars.
It's always back and forth.
Yeah,
she'll start with it, and I get it, and then once I'm done doing what I'm doing, then we go back and like, okay, we like this, let's change that.
Gotcha.
Then I'll add guitars and bass, and then we go from there, and then it's back to Rainy. We will start adding like all the synth and everything like that.
Yeah, I'll start adding the synth and a lot of the production of the song. So I do all that, and yeah, I love writing music. It's like when I'm outside of just performing it, I love writing it. It's so much fun, except for when you're in a phase where you don't know what you can't write. That sucks.
I recently got into, so like for me as an audio engineer, like my go-to platform right now is Ableton. Yeah. But I went to school and studied Pro Tools. Right. When I was in college, we were using Pro Tools. Actually started on Logic. All colleges tell you different things. You go from one college, they say, you need to learn Logic, you need to learn Pro Tools, you need to learn all this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. Just learn something to get good at it. But there's this one guy that I used to watch on YouTube back when I was like always when I was in college and I was trying to figure out things. Yeah. His name is Devon Terrell. He was an artist as well. But recently, I got back into a new podcast that he has, and it's called the Audio Nerds Podcast. Shout out. And it's great because they talk about the production and all that kind of stuff.
I actually think I know that, and I watched it.
Awesome. That's great. But his YouTube channel is called Help Me Devon. My gosh, he's getting so many shout outs right now. He should be paying me for this. But I'm like, went down a rabbit hole. Talking about loving the writing of music. The way he starts things, and he'll just be like, okay guys, we're gonna sit here from scratch and we're gonna write a song. And just start playing something on the piano or whatever like that. And then the chat is in there helping them coming up with lyrics, or he'll start coming up with a melody and all that kind of stuff. And watching that build. Like, I come from a family of musicians. I can agree with that 100%. When you hear a song after you've seen it like come into place and like all the ideas and this collaborative movement, and everybody has kind of like an input and everybody's starting to vibe with it and everything, you watching that all come together. Oh man, it's one of those rare things. I hope you guys record that. Because I'm like, man,
we do.
It's amazing.
We get the behind the scenes sometimes, but I don't usually film myself when I'm just starting to write the song because I don't know. Maybe I will in the future. Oh man! But it's so emotional.
If there was a behind the scenes cut of you writing Dark Side. Yeah. Oh man, right there.
I actually have the recordings all. Well, I actually do have not video, but I have all the audio because I record myself when I'm starting to write the hooks. Yeah. There's millions of times when I will write chord progressions and then I will write the melodies and I fucking forget. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm like, oh my god, and I fucking forget them. And I'm like, oh my god, it was so good. And then I'm like, fuck, like where? Oh, what was it? What was it again? And I'm alone all the time, so I'm like, oh, I don't know what it is. So I've learned by bad things happening. I swear there was like $1 million hook that I had. I'll never know what it was. It's fucking gone now. But so I record it all, and I do have all of Dark Side of the audio of me coming up with it and writing it and writing all the chord progressions, everything. So
that'll be freaking beautiful. I love the so like I'm a music nerd. Yeah. So imagine like you did a unsung type of thing. You guys ever checked out Unsung? So where they go and they talk about artists artists and music talents that were like back in the day, and they'll talk about their journeys and everything like that. Yeah. But then you have like channels like Genesis where they'll talk about the way that songs were created and everything like that. Yeah. And getting a peek into that type of thing. Because I think going back to our conversation about authenticity when it comes to your writing and everything, audiences love that type of thing. And it's wild to me how much, like, you'll see the song has so many plays, but then you'll see the video of how the song was created has about as many plays as the song. And it's like, okay, cool. Okay. This is what people are loving. And it's like, it's amazing. It's just me, that's me nerding out. That's my personal thing. That's my side subject. That's my passion right there. And I love it. So you guys, your band is been going on for about a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, before you guys were this version of the band, I know you were working on a couple solo projects and have a kind of like started to build a name for yourself prior to it. Yeah. When you created the band, what was the ultimate vision for that?
It was, because initially all the solo stuff was really trying to understand, because I was in a band even before the solo stuff.
Okay.
And I was in that for many years.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, in that band, I only was able to write the melodies. I didn't get to be able to write all the production and write all the chord progressions and everything like that. So I wanted to really find out who I was as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I quit that. I took like 4 or 5 years, and I really honed my craft as far as songwriting. And I saw all my friends and people that I knew that were continuing on with their bands, like being on tour and doing all these great things. And I'm sitting here like at scratch, and so I'm like, but I felt that was really important for me to move forward and form a band. So all the solo stuff was really to see who I was as a writer, and then move forward and build a band. And some of the actually we play 2 or 3 of the songs that I my solo stuff.
Okay.
So
nice.
These are just very well written songs.
Yeah.
And they're not as heavy as what we're writing now. They're a little bit more pop structured, but they're so well written. And the guys in the band were like, dude, these are really good songs. We should use these.
Yeah.
Like, we should, revamp these with some guitars and, add a little edge to it. And everybody was all about it. Like, yeah. And Rainey at first, she was like, really? You guys want to do it? Like,
I wanted to praise them out. I'm like, no, they're great. No, they're really good. And I have a lot of people that are like, the one song I have, Unworthy, they really love that song. But, obviously, and it's great because that was a lot of songs that I can, the band can play live and add. It adds a really big heaviness to some of them.
Yeah.
But, I eventually want to phase those out. And that's this new song, Sellout, is actually, is a band, is like a rock song that's newly written.
Sellout is
with your new sound.
Our first original song that we wrote together.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So who wrote Dark Side? Just you?
It was
by yourself?
both of us.
Both of you. So the entire band wrote Sellout.
No. We write all the music.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so you guys write the music and then take it to the band and like, hey, this is what we got coming up next. I got you. Nice. So Chris, tell me a little bit about you. You play guitar.
Yes.
First of all, what are you playing?
I play a 7-string LTD.
Okay, nice. Okay. How did you get into guitar playing? And like she has her background in there. Tell me a little bit about your story.
Well, growing up, Metallica was a huge influence. That's the main reason why I started playing guitar. After that, I got into a lot more bluesy stuff like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and just went from there. It's just really opened up. And I met somebody that used to live down the street from me, because before that I was just like kind of tinkering around, didn't really know or have the knowledge on any type of theory or anything like that. And I met somebody down the street, a friend of mine, and he was amazing. He was an amazing guitar player, and he really helped me. I was kind of off to the side, and he nudged me over, and I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Okay.
I got you.
And after that, it was just they've been in a million bands after that.
Yeah.
And before we started with this band, is a little bit of a darker story, but before I started with this band, I was in a metal band, and we were playing at a club, and actually got shot up. Like somebody brought a gun.
Oh wow!
And some people got shot. One person got killed. And
dang.
And it's a little dark. Sorry, but that ultimately led me to be like, I just can't mess around anymore. I need to find somebody that's serious about all of this and just wants to go the distance. And that's what I found with Rainey.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. That was a crazy story, because he told me that, and I was like, because he was in another band. And so I actually he had told me that. And I think I talked to, he didn't respond for a while. So I was looking at other guitar players, and he was the first one to hit me up. But then we didn't chat for a minute, and I was talking to other ones. And then that happened. And then he was like, hey, I really want to do this, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
So
that's crazy. That's wild, man.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Shooting up a metal club. That's crazy.
I know.
I just see that at a hip hop club. I get
San Bernardino, so
you never know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
My God, San Bernardino. I haven't been out there in a while.
Yeah.
I have no intentions of being out there for
Ever.
a while.
I mean, just
So you guys are located, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are located in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Got you. So is that where you guys started from, or you guys migrated to Los Angeles? It kind of all came together.
Yeah, so I moved to LA first. When Chris and I initially met, we both lived in Orange County. I grew up in Orange County. I love Orange County. It's my home, obviously.
Okay.
But I really felt like I needed to be in LA. And so I decided my apartment lease was ending by the time I think we were working on like song 3 or something. And I was like, I'm moving to LA. You're gonna have to drive because I told him, I was like, you should move to LA too. That way, we're by each other and whatnot. And at the time he couldn't. He had other commitments down in Orange County, but eventually I got you up there.
Yeah.
So
well, I grew up all throughout the area, so I moved out there into Orange County, and then after that, so got freed up with through some nonsense and all that, and I was like, okay, well, LA it is. I'm like, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys recently came off a tour,
Yes,
UK
we did.
tour.
Yes.
Gotcha. So
tour.
what was that? What was that like? Was that your first tour as a band?
It was.
This is our first tour with this band. Yes, it was absolutely fantastic.
How'd you guys land that tour?
It was crazy. Honestly, being asked to do a UK tour before here was weird.
Yeah.
But,
that's
it was,
shocker.
Yeah, we were like, okay, let's do it.
We
Like,
must be doing something right.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you already have your passport? Or did you have to get
I did.
I had to get mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to get mine. We expedited it, rushed it, and then it was actually pretty fast because everybody's like, dude, it's going to take months.
Yeah.
And it actually came like within like 3 weeks, something like that.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah.
Solid. So how was that experience going on the tour?
It was amazing, honestly. There were a lot of things we didn't think about. So like it's your band's first tour,
Right.
and then on top of it, you're going there. So we were like, okay, so we actually were smart that we wanted to rehearse before the first show. So we went and rehearsed. We realized, oh my God, we don't have all the adapters. We brought the adapters for like our hair straighteners. We weren't even thinking about the equipment. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
We bought the wrong ones. We bought
we got
European
the Europe
ones.
Okay.
And we needed the UK ones.
Yeah.
And then like the lingo is different there. So we're like looking for a power cord.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're looking for a power cord. You guys got a power cord? And they're like, what? And then they called it like a kettle or something like that. They called it something weird.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this. And we're like, the hell is that? And they're like, oh, this. And we're like, oh, yeah, that's what
we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's wild. So did you guys have any crazy stories that happened out there? Was this like the fans love you, obviously?
The fans were great. The crazy stories, we could not adapt to the time difference. Like it got dark like around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then every time we got back from a show, it was like 4, 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
the sun came. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Back
So the
in
sun
June.
came up like at 4 in the morning, and every time we got back, it was like.
It was great though. I mean, honestly, the fans really, really loved us. We really connected with a lot of them. It was amazing. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I will say we definitely want to go back. The food was a little questionable.
Yeah.
No one from the UK that's watching this, please don't.
I'm sorry. You guys need to step up your seasonings out there.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think anybody really points at the UK cuisine and it's like,
Yeah, they don't.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
that
a lot of Americans.
I think we survived. We survived off of like fish and chips and kebabs. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they boil a lot of stuff too.
the Middle Eastern food was bomb, but
Yeah.
you're just not like the. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. So you guys got another tour coming up though.
We do.
Tell me
We're
about
gonna
that.
be doing a tour here. We haven't really announced that yet, but
Okay.
it starts in August, and
Okay.
we're gonna go to like Vegas. We're going to
Utah,
Utah,
Arizona,
Colorado.
Okay.
That whole
Reno.
Yeah, it's a 2-week
I
one.
think we're ending in LA.
in LA. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So-
Do you guys have any more albums coming out anytime soon?
Well, so we're releasing singles right now. So we're gonna release this next single, "Sellout," next Friday.
Okay.
So everyone, please, I don't know where to look, but everyone, please
Your camera's right there.
tune in for, check out Sellout. That's going to be an awesome one. And then we definitely have another single coming out shortly after that.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then we want to release an EP after that.
Okay,
So,
nice.
mhm.
Nice, that's awesome. So you guys got a lot of things in the works.
We do.
Yeah,
busy.
it has to feel good to have the momentum that you're having right now.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Feels amazing.
You
I
guys
mean-
have I'm looking at your growth. Like I track all the kind of things.
Yeah.
Before I have a guest on the show, I do a pretty good job of researching. I was surprised to see your Instagram, then see the Alibis official page. Then I was like, oh wait, she's been doing this for a minute.
Well, yeah, I was doing it with my solo stuff
Yeah.
before the band. So
I was
that's
like,
why.
okay, 'cause I was like, these
Yeah.
things don't add right up. And I was like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But then like, so you got the UK tour and like behind you, you got this new one in front of you, you got the sellout single coming.
Yeah.
And you got, now the band looks like you guys are, because you switched out bass players.
We did.
I was commending your bass player that you had before for having a great taste in bass, having a music man, Stingray. Like, respect. If you see this out there, but now you switched out bass players, so you got your one from Australia, which is not a real place, but we understand that.
Fair enough.
But it's good. So for me, tell the people how they can support you guys.
Yeah. Well, please follow us on Instagram, follow us on all socials, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. We also have a website. Also, we have a website, alibismusic.com. And then also subscribe to us on YouTube, Alibis Music. You know, we're going to be having that new single come out, pre-save the single. Like our posts, like everything, buy our merch.
Yes.
So
for real. Support them all every way you can. Now, before we wrap up, we have to talk about the what version? Dark Side, what do you call it? The
Siren Sonata.
Siren Sonata. Give me the inspiration on that one.
You know,
you guys shot a whole music video, everything like that for it.
You know, I really wanted something that kind of was a slower version of it that was orchestral.
Okay.
And so I did write that alone.
Yeah. Okay. Were you inspired by anything like that?
You know, I really I've never taken a song and been able to write a new version of it. And I've seen a lot of other artists do it. And for me, I saw it as a challenge and something that I thought would be like really fascinating to hear what it would sound like orchestral, you know?
Gotcha.
And so, you know, that song actually took me like a month and a half, 2 months, just sitting in the studio and really like, sitting down and being able, okay, I want this here and I want this here. And it's much longer than the other Dark Side, which is more of a rock element to it. But I really wanted something that was big and epic, but that, you know, Muse does that a lot. And so does, another band I really love, IMX. He does a lot of different versions of songs, which I find really fascinating, and just to see if it can really cut through a different way. You know? And does a song stand alone? Like really quickly, the way that I look at songwriting is also. I learned from like Elton John, and I also saw like Sia and some other really great songwriters that how they write is they always write on the piano, and if the song acoustically sounds amazing, it will stand the test of time, you know?
Right.
And so that's why I write all the songs like that first and foremost, because I feel like if it's great acoustic, it's going to be excellent later. But if it's the other way around, you're building all this production to like make it sound great when it should be able to be simple first.
Got you.
So,
that's cool. So that's why you were able to say like, hey, next time we're in, maybe we do an acoustic.
Yeah.
Got you. Because you already have that planned out.
Yes.
You don't meet too many artists that are able to do that, just like switch it up and do that.
No, totally.
Like if you ever were in a situation, my parents dealt with this one time where I think like the power went out, or like for whatever reason, they couldn't, like none of the instrumentation could work.
Right.
And so they, you know, my dad's band, there are like 4 girls are up on the stage, and they just said, all right, we're going to do this acoustically.
Yeah.
And they just did that. And, you know, you get standing ovation, because it's like shows real talent, real skill for you to do that. It's a challenge that a lot of people, I would say that most people, you have to take that challenge.
Yes.
That shows you the difference, but how you rely on, are you handicapped? Are you using your, the electronics from all the instrumentation, all the vocal effects and everything like that as a, as a crutch essentially. So that's awesome.
We actually had a similar situation where we were playing at this one show, and the sound wasn't sounding great at all. And, you know, there wasn't, I don't even know if we had any kind of tracks recording or tracks in the back, but we were able to just play as a band, and everyone came up to us afterward, and they were like, wow, like you guys are like great regardless of that. And that was a great feeling for us, because it made us feel like our musicianship cut through, and, you know, our talent cut through, and a lot of things, because like, you're right, that people can use a lot of those things as a crutch, you know, and talent level people are different. So it's not always wrong to do that, but it also is great to be able to really showcase like it's if you have, a great sound and whatnot, of just being able to show that,
Exactly.
It's always a great compliment too when people are like, you guys sound just like the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. When I was, anytime I would produce anything, I would always say, like, even when I'm trying to write music, when I write a song, I always my approach is for the instrumentation. Can a band play this live?
Right.
And will they enjoy playing this
Right.
live? And so even like I'm a bass player, so all my bass lines I play myself.
Right.
Like I don't sit there in my keyboard and do all this kind of stuff, program it and all that stuff. And it's like, come on, then you don't have the real feel for
Sure,
it.
you don't.
You don't have that. And so like you get I know my cousin, he's an engineer as well. He doesn't like to play with he doesn't like to program drums.
Yeah.
So he bought an electric kit. So he just played himself in there. He was like, 'cause then I get the real feel for it, whether or not it's like how it's fun. Exactly. It's just as good. And you can accomplish so much. I love the songwriting process.
Me too.
I love music and everything like that. And I can tell that you guys do. And I love, you can always tell when a band has passion behind what they're doing.
Yeah.
And because that's going to come across to the audience.
Right.
And it's amazing. So before we wrap up, I wanted to see if you had anything that you wanted to share with the audience. You have these days, especially after COVID, I see a ton of people coming up artistically.
Yes.
And that want to, try their hands at, being a songwriter, being a singer, whatever, right? That things that they may have not had put too much effort into before. What would you give that message for up and coming artists?
I think what I would say is believe in yourself.
Yes.
It took a long time. I felt like initially when I was starting the solo stuff, I was nervous. I was like, I'm really going to see what I'm made of as a writer and not just a singer. And I was scared, but I trusted myself, and that was scary. Yeah. But I did do that, I feel like it was worth the while. So I would say if someone really, really wants to do this, and it's a very hard industry, but regardless, seeing how good you are in anything creative, you should absolutely put yourself on the line and try it, because being creative is like a life force within itself. And
right.
It's completing. It feels completing as a person.
Exactly.
So,
but it does take risks to do so.
You have to.
You have to do it.
Of course, no risk, no reward.
Exactly. Anything you want to leave?
Just be authentically yourself. We live in times right now where a lot of people are scared to say anything because, you're
canceled.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That sucks. But,
and as long as it's there's no hate behind it, and you just, I don't know, you just be honest with people. And people are scared to be honest nowadays about anything.
Yeah, I agree.
And, as an artist, you're supposed to be honest.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what's, like I said.
And that's important. And that's also, that's why I think other music is people connect to more than other music, right?
100%. There's artists out there that will sing a song. Like, I'll give you an example. My favorite rapper is J. Cole. Silence. So J. Cole is, and I say that because after all that Kendrick and Drake and Cole beef and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, no, not doing that.
Yeah.
My favorite one is still J. Cole. Yeah. I know he dropped out of the whole beef situation and pulled the song 7-minute drill back. Anyway, I have an issue with him though. Is some of the songs when he talks, he'll talk about like, dude's been married for a minute.
Yeah.
And he got kids and all that kind of stuff. But some of the times when he writes and when he's rapping, he talks as though he's single.
Right. I hate that. Like, that's not real.
Like, that ain't you, bro. Like you ain't been that guy for a minute.
Yeah, totally.
That guy, like that was your life prior.
Totally.
You're not that guy or whatever like that. Like, at least I hope not. If you're saying like,
or at least she hopes not.
Yeah, exactly. Like you shouldn't do that. And then like that's people's complaint with like artists like Drake and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But then you see a lot of artists like people. The issue is that people want to because people. They feed to negativity so much that they want it to be real. So even if you don't have to, like, even if it's not really you'll try to adopt that personality because it will resonate with artists more.
Right.
Or with your audience more.
Right.
And it's like, nah, you don't want to do that.
Right.
Be you.
Right.
I'm a black dude that grew up in the suburbs. I don't try that ghetto.
Yeah.
It's like, that is not my life. Yeah. It's like, imagine me creating a facade and be like, oh yeah, man, when I was struggling on the streets, what streets?
Yeah.
Whatever it is you do.
But I love that you see that because that's real. And that's important.
It's like
that's
that movie
rad.
CB4.
Exactly. And it comes off so fake. And so it's like, don't do that. Stay true to yourself.
Yes.
Say that way your audience will stay true to you as well. That's why I love artists like Russ. Russ will write a song and he's like authentically him the entire time. And it's just amazing. Well, guys, I've appreciated this conversation. It's been a great time having you. Thank you guys for traveling from Los Angeles, dealing with all that traffic and everything. It has been an amazing time. Be sure to check out Sellout. Check out their every page. So their Instagram, their website, buy the merch, buy everything. And again, Rainey, Chris, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's been another episode of the Icon Presents podcast. Be sure to head over to iconpresentspodcast.com to stay in touch with all blogs, upcoming events, connect with the artists and everything that we've had on this show. Thank you so much for joining me. Y'all take care.